Raider Nation, what's going on? We're live here on the Raiders Report, and can I get some FKCs down in the chat? Coming up here on today's show, we're going to go through the latest news and rumors circulating around the silver and black. I'm going to talk about a player that worked out for the Raiders yesterday, ended up signing with the Chiefs. We're also going to get the latest on Brandon Parker and all the little news and notes that y'all should have seen from training camp today. As always, we got 2 mailbags on tap for y'all, so you can already start to use hashtag Raiders, or you can super chat. And then I have 3 free agents that the Raiders need to sign ASAP. Rocky, I'm also going to tell you how much I would offer and pay those players. So we got a lot of real ones out there. Raider Nation, best fans in all of sports, but Real One for Life stands for Raiders Report, the real ones around the Raiders Report, because I know there's a lot of y'all that tune in, that watch what we do, but I want to know, what are the people that ride and die with me? What are the people that ride and die with Jeremy Chuggs? What are the people that ride and die with Chat Sports that are die-hard Raider fans? That's what a real one is to me. Somebody who, if you saw me out at a bar, you'd buy me a drink. If you saw a Raiders fan walking down the street and you saw that shield, and if they yelled Raiders, you'd yell back. Those are the real ones to me. So if you're a real one and you want to shout out here on the show before we get into the latest news and rumors, spam RO4L, Real One for Life. I got Juan Hernandez, Zelsbo 69, Tyler M11, Faya, Mark, Tyler, James Brandon, Stuart Silva, Dick So Solid Dixon, Robert Pena, Chris Smith, Patrick B in the chat. I got Raider 508, Tyler Otto, Raymond Sisto, Gosta Capone, King Sanchez, Phil, D, Fayez, Brian NYC, Elijah Mendez, James Brandon, Barlow with a whole bunch of other letters as a last name. I'm punchy right through. You guys can't see in the background, but Jeremy Chuggs is cheering all y'all on right now. We got over 400 people watching. Cheers to the nation. We're going to have one hell of a time today. So not only do we like to talk about Raiders news and rumors, I'm a big fan, this might be crazy, of NFL news as well. And I woke up this morning with some pretty surprising stuff out there that Chicago Bears linebacker Roquan Smith requested a trade. As soon as I saw that, my mind instantly was like, all right, could the Raiders make a move for him? We'll talk about that a little bit here on today's show, because you always have to remember, yes, the Raiders, I actually do think, could use an extra linebacker. You also have Champ Kelly. So why for yes and for no should the Raiders trade for Roquan Smith? If you haven't already voted, there is a live poll at the very, very top of today's live show asking that question. There's a nice amount of you that believe, yes, the Raiders should, and then there's some no's as well. So we got Gus, Robert, Chef, Raider Lanny, Vincenzo Peoples, Juan Hernandez, Brian Baca, Dave Wilson, Raiders 28, King Sanchez, PG 2869, all typing their Y for yeses. I'll give you my 2 cents on whether or not I think the Raiders should do it, and I got some trade ideas as well. It's super chat time here. Anthony Morales. Oh, with Chuggs and I both on screen. Look out.
What is going on?
Tell Jer I appreciate the singing last week, JWB. I'll tell you what, if you guys get free time, you go back and you watch that preseason game from like the third and the fourth quarter. It's a shit show. It's just the God-honest truth. Absolute shit show. I went back and I watched. Probably one of my favorite parts, besides us playing, the Craggy Games hooks, was you started shouting people out and you did it faster, and I ran the entire time.
That was intense.
No, it was here in the studio. But overall, it was a lot of fun. It was a good time. And we're going to be live again for the Raiders versus Vikings this upcoming weekend.
I don't even remember what I sang.
It was the song. It was like the Raiders. You made like your own Raiders song. We'll try to figure it out. We'll go back and we'll look at it.
A couple boots and it'll jog my memory.
I'm hopefully those boots are made for drinking. All right, Rashissimo Locke. He's a real one for life. Rashissimo, we appreciate you. You also sent in another super chat, which we will get to here in a second. If you're a real one like Rashissimo, keep on spamming that throughout the entire show. You think Nate Hobbs stays on the outside. I could actually see Hobbs playing on the outside, and they could also potentially move him to the inside. One of my favorite things that I always thought New England did in their past defensive schemes was if there was a player that team utilized a lot, and I think a really good example was that was literally just 2 seasons ago. Darren Waller gets like 17 targets, and then they go up against New England. He gets 1 catch. New England has always done something that I'm surprised more teams don't try to do. They take your best player and they try to take him away. To me right now, it sounds like Nate Hobbs could actually be the best player in that secondary, and he's been lights out. He intercepted Derek Carr today at practice up against Devontae Adams. They can line him on the outside. They can line him up on the inside. Hobbs has a legitimate shot, I'm not kidding y'all, to be a top 10 corner in the league this upcoming season, and he's got a realistic chance to get even higher than that. He is that athletic, and he is really, really rallying around Patrick Graham's system. So remember, y'all, we got another one coming in here. It's from Blake. What up, Blake? Oh, he's got some good news here. Everyone say congrats to Blake. Got engaged recently and just got a new job. Raiders Super Bowl next. Make it a good year. Fingers crossed on you potentially getting multiple jobs from your brandly new engaged person. No, I hope that you have a very happy and healthy marriage a long time. Also, you know who else just got engaged?
This guy right here.
Jeremy
Blake
Chugs.
enjoying the engaged life. Maybe we make it 3 for 3 on the Raiders report. Who knows?
Is that me?
I don't know. You're the only one else in here.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Sooner or later, it'll probably happen. It's just not going to be today. But Blake, congrats to you, my guy. A Raiders Super Bowl would be phenomenal.
It's not going to happen now on the Raiders report?
No, I've thought about proposing to Alex on the Raiders report, but you know, an hour later, I wouldn't even remember that I did it. So.
What a thumbnail that would be.
Hopefully there'd be more than one thumbie going down on that show. All right, guys, coming up here on the Raiders Report, we're going to be looking at some free agents to potentially sign because the Raiders have money. You got a little over $22 million, second most in the NFL behind only the Cleveland Browns. And I believe that there are 3 free agents right now. If I was running the Raiders and I had the power to do it, I'd pick up the phone, I'd give them a call, and I would try to bring them in. Here's my question to you. If you could only sign one free agent, who would it be? Would it be somebody on the offensive side of the football? Would it be somebody on the defensive side of the football? I got 600 of y'all watching right now. What are you thinking? Juan Hernandez says Ndamukong Suh. PG2869 says we need a right tackle. Okay, give me a right tackle name. Andrew B says Daryl Williams or Dwayne Brown. Buzzomatic69, which was basically my entire life and Jeremy's life on that Thursday preseason game. He says, you know what? I took too long to answer it, so now it's gone. Sue, sorry. We got Hustle and Hoogland, says Sue. Donta Hightower, I saw just got a vote here from Mark Kerface. Sue from Sajal, we needed feet. I don't know what that means from Real Richmond. Sewer Williams from Raider 508. Daryl Williams from TGZ. A lot of votes coming in for Hightower, Daryl Williams, and Ndamukong Suh. Now, here's my next question to all y'all, because apparently today's National Book Day? And it's simple. Do you read? I don't read well, but sometimes I read. It's the truth. I've been trying to read a little bit more to, you know, spark up the quote graphics around here. But 1 for yes, 0 for no. Do you read? Honestly, like the thing I read the most, I read fantasy football articles more than anything.
And the thing is we had to ask this question because we have a couple Chiefs fans in the office and they can't read.
True.
So
that is a fact.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't. I don't want to drop names because that's kind of rude. But FKC, you guys know what it's about.
You know what we mean.
Peak Boogie does not read. Exxon, yes. When was the last time you guys picked up a book? I can honestly I have no idea. I think the last book I picked up was Captain Underpants. I mean, that might be legitimate. Or they were called something Treehouse. Magic Treehouse? Something like that. Yeah, that was probably the last time I legitimately picked up a book. Or I did have SEO for Dummies, but that's actually a good book to read. So 1 for yes, 0 for no. Do you read? We got 2 mailbags coming up here on today's show. Always, you can use hashtag Raiders or you can super chat. We are getting ready and rock and roll in terms of getting into today's news and rumors. I did see 2 more super chats. We're going to start off the mailbag, which is going to be the first. Actually, we're starting off today's show with a mailbag. I forgot. It's going to go mailbag, news and rumors, and then another mailbag, and then we're going to go to Rumble after hours, and then we'll talk about some free agents to sign there. So we are going to start today's show off a little bit different, so use hashtag Raiders or Super Chat to get those questions and comments on the show. We will start it off with Brandon Jasper, Gregory, and then I just saw Raider Man 01. So that's going to be coming up here on live. Are you guys ready to go? I got 650 people watching. Hopefully, y'all are diehard Raider fans out there. Wait a minute.
We can't start the show.
Why? What happened?
We have 655 people watching.
Okay.
We only have 150 likes.
That's probably because they can't read. They can't see likes. Come on, guys. It's National Read a Book Day or something. I don't know. Like the video. What do we got here? If you're a diehard Raider fan, a real one for life that's rocking with Jeremy and I want you to smash that like button. Let's get some questions flowing in here using hashtag Raiders, or you can super chat. Jeremy's giving me a thumbs up, which means we can get into today's first mailbag coming up right now here on the Raiders Report. Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report, and it is mailbag time. This show was recorded on Tuesday, so please, if anything happens in some of these questions, keep that in mind. A lot of juicy questions to get to. We're going to first hit the super chats, and then we will get into all y'all's questions. But to make sure that you can watch all our mailbags, to make sure you can tune in to our Raiders vs. Vikings watch party, guess what you got to do? Hit that subscribe button for free Raiders videos all season long. Brandon Jasper, with all of this money, I want a right tackle and linebacker. Thoughts? I want Daryl Williams, and I agree with you. I think a linebacker like Jamie Collins makes some sense. I think Donta Hightower makes some sense. If you do not want to spend big on Daryl Williams, the next name that comes up to me is probably a Bobby Massey. But for me, it's almost like it's honestly almost Daryl Williams or bust, because if you want to see what you got in Alex Leatherwood, then sure, maybe you trot him out there, see what he can do. But Daryl Williams would really help out players like a Dylan Parham, like an Alex Leatherwood, ultimately achieve what they're trying to do, which is become a good NFL player. Let's go to Gregory. Do we have an updated status for Waller impairment extension? Unfortunately, no. I know some people are slightly overreacting because Waller has missed, I believe this was his 4th or 5th straight practice today in terms of Tuesday practicing. I don't know exactly when or if it's going to happen for Perriman. Darren Waller will get a new contract, and I'm going to sit up on this studio and say that he will get a deal by the time the season starts. Let's go to Raider Man 01. Let's get ready to just win, baby. Let's get some JWBs, because I don't care if it's a preseason game. I'm always ready to have a good time, and I'm always about just win, baby. The NFL preseason game, Jeremy and I, we're going to be live, so please keep that in mind. And I can't wait to also, we're going to be getting the new guy, Patrick. He's been around here a few times chugging some boots. He's going to be here on Sunday, and we're going to try to get him effed up because he's a Vikings fan. Let's go to Patrick B. Super Chat time. Mitch, how does the wide receiver spot look? Averett and Yasin as cornerback 1 and cornerback 2. I'll tell you this. They are right now the top 2 cornerbacks on the outside. Nate Hobbs is the best corner on our team. So if the Raiders want to put him on the outside, that also allows Anthony Averett to play on the inside. And when he first got signed, I said that he had that ability. He's quick, twitchy. He's actually one of the players that I thought played the best up against Tyreek Hill last season, because he doesn't do the best in zone situations. He, to me, is a little bit more of a man corner, but Amik Robertson's been looking good, so you could put him out there. But I would say your top 3 corners right now, Nate Hobbs is clear-cut 1, Rock Ya-Sin is 2, Anthony Averett's 3. It really just comes down to where does Nate Hobbs want to play. Patrick B., you're a real one, my dog. Cheers to you. Oh, let's go to Bama Raider. Should the Raiders trade for Roquan Smith? I knew it was only going to be a matter of time before I got a Roquan Smith question. Now, let's face the facts. Roquan is a good linebacker. Some people would say he's top 5. I'm not going to put him in my top 5. I'd probably, though, put him around the top 15-ish type of area. When you look at the numbers, they're impressive. 163 tackles, 3 sacks, 12 tackles for loss. One of the things, though, that I always try to illustrate to Raiders Report watchers is you can't just look at tackles. You can't just look at certain numbers and think, okay, because this player had 163 tackles, he's an absolute baller. It's not always the case. The other issue is this. The Raiders have good linebacking depth. When you talk about the top 3 players on screen, Denzel Perriman is a run stopper. Divine Diablo, I think, has upside to be a top 10 linebacker. Jayon Brown is a good coverage linebacker. Now, sure, you got Kenny Young, who's an okay 4th guy. Darian Butler's got some upside. Curtis Bolton's a run stopper. And then Lucas Masterson. But my question to all of you out there is, should the Raiders trade for Roquan Smith? Type that Y for yes, or you can type your N for no, because for me personally, I'm going to avoid it. I don't know if it makes a lot of sense to make a move for Roquan, not because he's not a talented player, but for how much money you're going to have to pay him, because he wants to get paid big-time bucks. And then on top of that, you're going to have to give up significant draft capital. I would rather invest my money in going out and getting a bigger position of need, like an offensive tackle, like a defensive tackle, and try to win in the trenches instead of going out and getting a linebacker, because I view linebacker as the running back position on offense. It's easily replaceable. Let's go to Andrew B. Man, you're next up here on the Raiders Report. Although there was plenty of bad with Gruden and Mayock, they did have some great late-round picks, not early. You're right. And I've said this a few times because personally, when you see the amount of picks that they hit on and later in the rounds, right, Max Crosby, Hunter Renfrow, Nate Hobbs, it's frustrating because if you hit on your first rounders, that's how dynasties start. When you have cornerstone players that are some of the best in the league and you get them that late, that's how not just it's how dynasties start. And I wish we would have hit on some of those first rounders, man. Let's go to King Higgins, Super Chat time. Need Williams, to be honest. I'm always about the honesty. Also, are the Raiders out on Suh? I don't think the Raiders are out on Suh at all. I understand that Ndamukong has gone a little bit silent. Personally, what I think it is for him is he knows the longer that he goes without signing with a team, he's probably actually going to make more money. Or he is going to gamble here a little bit, and if there are no teams interested, then sure, maybe he doesn't end up going to a team. But if I'm Ndamukong Suh, I know this. I know that I can still bring value to a squad, so whether I get signed now or if I get signed a little bit later in the season, because essentially I think Ndamukong's waiting for an injury to happen. When an injury happens, then some of these veterans, they end up getting signed to teams. Ndamukong is still out there. The Raiders are still interested in Suh. Let's go to Blake Dufresne. Mitch, when are you getting a podcast? I mean, I could make an argument. I kind of already have a podcast. Now, the issue is this. I like making YouTube videos. I like doing stuff on air. And if you want like a podcast theme, I would tell people to go to Locals, where you get 2 extra videos every week, 1 weekly live show. We do interactive posts and polls. If you want to DM me and I get back to you within 24 hours, it's over on Locals. Ultimately, it's just easier access to have conversations with me, get extra Raiders content, and you can listen to it like you would a podcast. You can minimize the screen and it plays in the background. So if you guys are looking for an awesome Raiders podcast from me, that's essentially 3 extra videos that you're not getting on YouTube, go to RaidersReport.locals.com, or you can scan that QR code right there and you got yourself covered. Let's go to Coxie Pup. Mitch, after we get Daryl Williams, is it possible to trade for Payne from Washington? Is it possible? Sure. I know Deron Payne has been a name that I've brought up multiple times here. I don't see the Commanders moving on from him. He's a really good player, and yes, he's got this opportunity. He's 25 years old, but the Commanders understand that if they want to compete in that division, they need the defensive help because Carson Wentz ain't that dude. But you're very optimistic that we're going to get Daryl Williams. I'll tell you what, if that happens, we're going live, and Jeremy and I, it's not going to be quite Devontae Adams unless y'all want it to be, but it's going to be a party. There's no doubt about that. Let's go to the greatness of the Raiders. What is your depth chart at defensive tackle? I mean, it really hasn't changed, and I am basing my depth chart off of what I personally know and what I believe, and that is when Jonathan Hankins and Bilal Nichols are fully healthy, they're going to be your top 2 DTs. Then Neil Farrell Jr., Matthew Butler, those guys are also going to get into the rotation. Ultimately, Las Vegas, I think, keeps 5 defensive tackles. Maybe Vernon Butler gets a spot in there, but if you want to have at least a little bit of confidence in this unit from top to bottom, you need to add another player because, I'm sorry, It's one of the weakest defensive tackle units in the league. Super chat time. This one's coming in from Raider J. Just had a baby boy named Jackson after Bo Jackson. Raider Nation for life. That is the definition of a just win baby. Congratulations to Raider J. Congratulations to your, I guess, is it wife, girlfriend, baby mama, whoever. Congratulations, man. That's really exciting. And I love the name Jackson. I've actually talked to Alex about if we get another dog, naming him Jackson. Yeah, I know, right? No babies yet. RaiderMan01, hey, Mitch. Everything aside, what can possibly be a legit reason the Raiders have not tried to sign Daryl Williams? I just don't get it. Just win, baby. Well, it's not always just the Raiders. Sometimes it's these veteran free agents that, to be honest with you, they don't want to go through training camp. They don't want to go through the preseason. They want to pull what KJ Wright did last year, and they wait. And then when you look at the Raiders' final preseason game, which is going to be the 26th of August, and then the Raiders' first game is September 11th, there's 2 weeks there essentially, maybe even, technically a little bit more, where a veteran's like, I can learn the defense. I can come in, and then I can absorb as much as humanly possible, and then you go on from there. And that's what I believe you see some of these players like Williams, players like Ndamukong Suh, some of these older guys that have been around the NFL for a little bit longer. Let's go to Daniel Clarkson. I almost thought this said Carlson. What is a fair trade for Roquan? All right. When I think of fair trade, all right, I'm just going to say in terms of what I think the Raiders and what I think the Bears would want from top to bottom, and you could throw out a few different ideas here in terms of what you could get. Here's the one thing I know. Roquan's going to want a lot of money. And for that reason, I don't know how much personally I would want to give up for him because, again, it's going to be a lot of money. So let's just say this. Let's say Raiders get Roquan Smith. You get Tevin Jenkins. And then let's go DeMarcus Robinson, a third-round pick, and then a sixth-round pick. Does that work, Jeremy, if you can make that graphic for me? The other reason why I'm not going to give up too much in terms of money or in terms of draft capital is because Roquan wants to get paid like some of these guys on this list that you just saw. I don't know if I want to pay a linebacker that much money because I believe linebackers are easily replaceable. In terms of a trade, I'm trying to figure out a trade that works well for the Raiders. Like, if I can get Tevin Jenkins, a player that I viewed as a first-round talent, and he wants out of Chicago, okay? Roquan wants out. If two players want out, I'm not going to pay the max value. I'm going to pay a little bit of a cheaper price. So the fact that they were willing to trade Khalil Mack for a second and a sixth, let's go a third and a sixth for Roquan, and then we'll throw in DeMarcus Robinson for Tevin Jenkins because the Bears right now, they got like 5 players that are injured. So that's my trade idea. How about this, though? Who wins this deal right here? Do you think it's the Chicago Bears, or do you believe it's the Las Vegas Raiders? Type CHI for the Bears in the live chat. Or if you think it's the Raiders, type LV. If you're a real one out there, take a screenshot of this, and if you could, post it on Twitter, post it on Instagram, post it on Reddit, because I've found my name on the Reddit walls very, very recently, and just tag me at MitchellRenz365. Let's go to one of the OGs here, Juan Hernandez. Did you hear Beast Mode got arrested? I did. It's just one of those things. Uber. Now, Marshawn has never been afraid to say that he's, looking to have a good time, especially in Las Vegas. His mugshot photo looks like, it honestly looked like what Jeremy and I looked like after that Thursday watch party game. It's rough to see. And all joking aside, just take a freaking Uber, man. There's no room for that in today's world with all the other options out there, especially when you have the amount of money that somebody like Marshawn Lynch does. I'm glad he's okay, and I'm glad he didn't injure anyone. That's my take on it. Let's go to Yo-Yo420666. What's up with the fight that broke out of camp today with Max Crosby? I messaged Max. Obviously, he has yet to get back to me, so I'm curious if he does a little bit later on today. From what I have understood, it's guys competing. And when you compete, when you care, sometimes, a fight's going to break out. I think it was a little bit overblown on Twitter. It sounded like Crosby all day today was just kicking butt. When I say today, I mean Tuesday. It sounds like Crosby was just mopping people. Crosby mops a lot of offensive linemen in the league. John Simpson got a little bit upset about it. Dylan Parham, being a rookie, wanted to stick up for one of his older players. And Crosby started having some pushing and shoving. The team came in and As far as I'm concerned, it's guys competing and it's guys caring, which I'm not going to be upset about. What up, Jeff Rogers? I made a $100 bet with a Dolphins fan that the Raiders will have a better record than them. Will I collect my money? I hope so. I will say this, the Dolphins have a easier schedule than the Raiders do, so that might be my only reason to say pump the brakes a little bit. If Tua Tagovailoa can play like a top 15 QB, I think you might lose that bet because that offense is legit. They got a good defense. Personally, I think one of the teams most likely to get Roquan Smith is actually the Miami Dolphins, or I'd probably say the Tennessee Titans. But I also don't see Tua being a good quarterback. I don't have faith in him whatsoever. And for that reason, I don't see him getting to 9-10 wins. What up, Liam? Seems like the Bears are tanking, trading away Khalil Mack and now Roquan. What about Robert Quinn? I mean, we've already talked about Tevin Jenkins. We talked about Roquan. Robert Quinn has been a player that's been linked to the Raiders, and a lot of the reasons why you see a lot of these places like a Bleacher Report, like an ESPN, or some of these other content creators link Robert Quinn to the Silver and Black is because the Raiders have Champ Kelly, who was working with Chicago last season, and he's in the front office, so he can pull a lot of these strings. Would I make a deal for Robert Quinn? It's always going to come down to money, but what do y'all think about this? Pick one to trade for. Roquan Smith or Robert Quinn? Type RQ for Quinn, type RS for Smith. If you're looking at the short term, if you're looking at just this upcoming year and this year only, probably going to take Robert Quinn. That might be a hot take for some people. I just believe the edge is a bigger need. If you're going long term, then the answer is pretty easy. It's Roquan Smith. If you guys haven't already, please don't be shy. Hit me up on Instagram. Hit me up on Twitter, where I think that I keep you guys up to date on all the latest news and rumors going on, not only around the Raiders, but around the NFL. I'm actually surprised when I go on Twitter, when I go on Instagram, the amount of, or the lack thereof content or the lack thereof coverage around the team is. I update my Instagram stories. I put stuff out there on Twitter. Why? Because I care and I want you guys to know what's going on. Let's go to Stan Laura. I suspect we lose either Waller or Foster if no one takes a team-friendly deal, especially with the Perryman contract looming among other needy positions. Mitch, thoughts? As much as I like Foster Moreau, he's replaceable to me. Darren Waller, they don't grow on trees, right? It's one of the reasons why I had my take earlier in the offseason that I would rather give my money to Darren Waller than Hunter Renfrow. It's not because I don't like Renfrow. Hunter Renfrow, to me, though, is more easily replaceable than a player like Darren Waller. But yes, you are going to have certain situations as the time goes on that if you don't have enough money or if you pay certain people, other guys end up leaving. It's just the way it is. But Foster, to me, is more easily replaceable. And if he, tests free agent waters, best of luck to him. All right, guys, if you haven't already, hit that notification bell. What the hell am I talking about? There is a bell underneath the YouTube video, whether you're watching on your phone, if you're on your desktop. Click that bell, then click all, so when I drop a video, you're notified, and you can get down in the comments. Now, what I like to see people doing is trying to race to be the first people to comment on a video. Believe it or not, that helps me out. My bosses think it looks good, and it tells YouTube that you care, which means, again, it's helping me out and getting the video out there. So major shout out to Aaron, Mark, Dominic, Steven, and Will. Appreciate you guys joining the Noti Gang. So all I tell people to do, type Noti Gang, type Raiders. I look to see those are the people that I know are always watching my videos. Let's go to Brandon Jasper Super Chat time. Record after the first 5-game gauntlet. I believe when I did my initial Raiders projection in terms of wins and losses, I had them at 3-2. It's been a while since I've done that video, though. I'm going to stick with my initial gut. 3-2, and then 10-7 is how I finished, how that, video finished. But there's still a lot of room where they can grow. But I am worried if the injuries keep popping up, you'll start losing some depth. Does get a little bit interesting, man. Let's go to Vincent. What up, my dog? Raiders, I know everyone is concerned with the offensive line. But if you think about the Bengals last year and their offensive line, they were still able to do great things. They made the Super Bowl, for God's sake. The Bengals offensive line was an eyesore. And I don't know if it was a bottom 5 O-line. It was definitely up there, though. And you're right. They were able to do a lot of great things. Joe Burrow had a lot of talent around him. But even with that being said, the Raiders' offensive line is worse right now, I think, than what the Bengals line was last season. I don't want there to be a situation where Derek Carr goes down, because if DC goes down, the Raiders season, unfortunately, I believe is over. All right, Raider Nation, we got some news and rumors coming up for all of y'all here in just a second. But in your opinion, what is currently the Raiders' biggest team need? Because we're going to talk about some team needs coming up here in a little bit. Is it right tackle, type RT? Maybe it's offensive guard, OG. What if you think it's linebacker? Type those pounds down there. If it's edge, edge. Or if you leave, it's defensive tackle, type DT. I'm going to give some shout-outs here, and then we are going to get into today's news and rumors going on around the NFL and Las Vegas Raiders. Sorry, something just popped up on my screen. I was like, oh, man, what happened? But nothing. What do we got? PG 2869, right tackle. Daniel Ramirez, right tackle. Mark says defensive tackle. Jeff Raiderville 13. Jeff Rogers, T. Jeezy, Zilbo 69, all saying right tackle. Dab City Bullies, offensive guard. B. Rabe, Phil, Coxie Pup, right tackle. Corey Epple says defensive tackle. Zach Haywood, right tackle. So majority of the votes coming in right now are for, in fact, right tackle. And I'm going to kind of agree with y'all that right tackle, defensive tackle are the two biggest needs for the Silver and Black. You got to build the trenches, man. It's not always sexy, but you got to build in the trenches.
And, I mean, after Alex Leatherwood, do you feel a little bit more comfortable with the offensive guards? I mean, I know you like Lester Cotton on that left side.
Cotton, to me, has played really well as a right guard. He looks really, really solid to me. Leatherwood's going to have to step up. I still view Leatherwood as a guard option. But with the loss of Brandon Parker for the season, I mean, you have to be able to figure out a way to get some extra depth there. I mean, you're going to put a little bit more pressure on Thayer Munford.
If Daryl Williams is signed, does he go to right tackle or does he go to left guard?
He goes to right tackle. I think you put him on the right side of the line. They like John Simpson, but you can also put Dylan Parham over there as well. It just gives you more opportunity. You keep Daryl Williams what he's best at. He's been best at a right tackle. And personally, I think you can make an argument then to kick Alex Leatherwood into right guard, and then you might even be able to move Lester Cotton. But from what it sounds like, Cotton's been playing really, really well, and I want to continue that.
He was mauling.
Oh, dude, the right side of the line looked good against the Jags. Now, again, it was against the Jags. They had a lot of their backups in, and they were a 3-14 team last season. But the amount of running lanes that those two created, plus Andre James, I thought played well. Yeah, but I'm hoping Daryl Williams ends up signing and ends up playing a right tackle.
Yeah, I mean, with Crosby and manning the edge, manning the pass rush. I mean, I wouldn't say that's a major need over offensive line.
It's defensive tackle. Defensive tackle is the issue because if they start doubling up some of our edge rushers.
I know you're worried about that.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna lie to it. Keeps me up at night. All right, y'all, you ready to get into some news and rumors? I sure hope so. Also, it sounds like, oh boy, we got some. Sounds like Meek Robertson continues to show that he's playing pretty well in camp, so maybe we'll talk about that as well. Now, we will, yes, Tom's excited, big Meek Robertson fan. We are going to be doing a live show over on Rumble, so it's going to be our Rumble After Hours show. So if you want, go to rumble.com/Raiders Report. That's where I'm going to be dropping the 3 free agents that the Raiders need to sign right now. The link is below. We're also going to be putting that for y'all in the chat, and we're going to be putting that in the description as well. So there's no excuses for you to not tune in. Coming up right now here on the Raiders Report, we are going to get into the latest news and rumors. I'm going to get a sip of water, so please give me 1 second.
Glug, 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 glug.
It's been a while. All right, y'all. You ready to get this thing going? I sure hope so. News, rumors coming up right now here on the Raiders Report. Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report, and we're going to get into today's Raiders rumors, some NFL news, and yes, we will at the very end of the show talk about what happened at training camp today. A little bit of fight. We'll break it all down. Also, we got the latest going on around Brandon Parker. Before I get into all of that, today's show is presented by Panda Sups, and we got a new product alert. They just dropped their brand new testosterone booster. For anybody out there, it's like, man, I wish I was in the shape I was when I was 20. You want to feel 20 again? You take some test boosters, man. 25% off, promo code TEST at pandasups.com. That link's going to be available for you all in the comments and in the description of today's video. So the first story coming up here is going to be around Roquan Smith. And anytime that there's NFL news that comes out, this magnitude, people just start blowing up my DM. They're like, could we get Roquan? Could we get Roquan? Well, the Chicago Bears star linebacker requested a trade today. He illustrated out multiple things that, he thought that they were lowballing him, that they didn't respect him here and there. And now he's out there. Chicago could potentially be moving on from him. When I saw this go down, obviously my initial impact or instinct is think of Champ Kelly. How much would he want, and how much would a trade cost? Well, first off, you got to look at how much Roquan Smith would want. And personally, I think he wants to be up around this like Fred Warner, C.J. Mosley, Darius Leonard type of money. It's a lot of money for a linebacker, $20 million, $17 million, all this millions on the board. A lot of money. Then you add into the equation the Raiders' linebacking room, which is Denzel Perriman, Divine Diablo, Jayon Brown. No disrespect to all three of these players. You can make an argument that Roquan is a better player than all three of these guys. He's a good coverage linebacker. Yeah, he struggles against stopping the run, but in today's NFL, I value linebackers that can get after the quarterback, drop back into coverage a little bit more than just stopping the run. So here's my question to all of you. What would you give up, for a Roquan Smith in a trade? Would you give up a first-round pick? Maybe you'd give up a second-round pick. Would you give up a few players? I want to know from all of y'all watching, what would you give up for Roquan Smith in a trade? Because this might be a hot take, and a lot of y'all are going to be like, Mitch, well, then you're not going to get him. Okay. For me, I am not giving up a first, and I'm not giving up a second-round pick. I know the brand-new head coach over there in Chicago, Matt Eberflus. He comes from the Colts coaching tree of they value draft picks. They've always valued draft picks. It's why they let Khalil Mack go for a second and a sixth-round pick. When you look at the numbers from Roquan, they are very impressive. No doubt about it. 163 tackles last season, 3 sacks, 1 interception. In 2020, 139 tackles, 18 tackles for loss, 4 sacks, 2 interceptions. So some of you are like, man, you would only give up a third-round pick for Roquan? The reason why I'm only giving up a third is because you not only have to give up that draft capital, but why would I spend a lot of money on a player that I know wants to be traded? So for that reason, the value goes down. And on top of that, it's not a major need for the Raiders, and you're going to have to probably pay him over $15 million per year. When you look at his PFF numbers, this is why I always say you can't just look at tackles. It tells a little bit of a different story. His overall grade on PFF was not only below average, it's bad. 47.8, run grade, 30.0, pass rush grade, 55.1. Sure, the 69.2 coverage grade is good, and you're hoping that this can continue to get better. In 2020, he was legit. I do think that the run grade is a little bit lower, and sometimes PFF gets a little too PFF-y, if you will. But he was good against the pass, good against coverage, and that's what I look for in a linebacker. The only thing is this, and again, I am somebody that looks for deals. I'm the type of person, I'm going to walk into a store, I'm going to look at the sale rack, and if I can get a good deal on that sale rack, I'll do it. If the Bears are willing to move on from Roquan and it's a sale, cool. Then I'm interested. If they're looking for a first, if they're looking for a second-round pick, he's a great player. But the Raiders have other big-time needs like a right tackle, like extra offensive line depth, like a defensive tackle that I would rather invest my money in to go out and get somebody like that. Now, y'all, we are in a sub-battle this week. The Raiders are taking on the Minnesota Vikings. And Vikings now has had 21 subs this week. The Raiders Sports got a comfortable lead with 62. But I don't want to stop there. I don't want to just triple these guys. I want to just times 10 them. I want to just pound these mother effers in the ground, not only on the football field, but here as well. And the new guy, Patrick Seatman, he's going to be around for our watch party on Sunday. We're going to get him drunk. He's a young college kid, but he's not ready to hang with the nation. So if you could, let's make sure the Raiders Report wins that sub battle. Hit that subscribe button, and make sure you join me, Jeremy Chuggs, Patrick Seatman. My girlfriend might even be here. That one's still a question mark, though. And watch the Raiders-Vikings preseason game with me. We're going to be breaking it all down. We're going to be having a good time. So make sure you hit that sub button. Let's now talk about some NFL news that happened today. Because a lot of y'all were like, are the Raiders going to sign Danny Shelton? Well, no. He ended up signing with the Kansas City Chiefs today instead. Las Vegas worked him out on Monday. And the Raiders have been looking for extra defensive tackle depth. Danny Shelton played with Patrick Graham on the New York Giants last season. Then he played with the Detroit Lions in 2020. He played with the New England Patriots in 2018 and 2019. So this has been a name that continues to get popped up around Raiders circles in terms of a defensive tackle because team need and the coaches he's played for. So since Danny Shelton is no longer available, he's in KC, FKC's in the chat. Here are my top 5 defensive tackles that the Raiders could sign a free agency. Not ranked in any particular order, but Ndamukong Suh, Sheldon Richardson, Linval Joseph, Steve McLendon, and then Darius Philon. The most expensive options are your top 3 right here. The player that I know a lot of y'all want is Darius Philon, but when I did my defensive tackle rankings, I had Danny Shelton ranked at 9. All these players that you see on screen right now were all higher than Danny Shelton. Now, if you want the Raiders to sign a defensive tackle, I want you to like this video right now. Like the video right now if you want the Raiders, Josh McDaniels, Dave Ziegler to sign a freaking defensive tackle, because if they do, I'm going live. I'm ready to party. Hell, I want you to take this video on YouTube, tweet it at the Raiders. What do we have to do to get a DT around here? I get you want to evaluate your talent. But I'm telling y'all right now, the talent's not there. You need to add that an extra interior defensive line. We know it. I know it. Jeremy knows it. Y'all know it. Make it happen already. Now, today's show, again, y'all, is presented by Panda Supps, and they just launched their brand new testosterone booster. You can get 25% off by using promo code TEST at pandasupps.com. If anybody out there is trying to get into better shape, remember when let's say for some people who are a little bit older, right? You're not 20 years old. You don't have the metabolism. It's not as easy to build the muscle. You want to feel 20 years old again? Take some test boosters before you work out. This is what Panda Supps has to say of why you should try it. If you're looking for a natural way to build muscle, strength, improve sex drive, and increase energy levels, welcome the all-new Panda Test. Panda Test uses clinically dosed ingredients to naturally boost free testosterone levels and reduce stress hormones. A lot of you are like, why does stress matter? You ever wonder why you can never get rid of this little belly fat here? Like, I have it too. I like sweets, but I can never get rid of it. Stress. Stress is one of the biggest reasons why you have a little bit of belly fat. You want to build muscle and get rid of that annoying belly fat? Take the test booster. So scan this QR code right here. It's going to drop you right onto the test booster, and then you can use promo code TEST to get 25% off. Major shout out to Panda Supps. You can also find that link available for you all in the comments and in the description of today's video. So why I always tell you guys to hit me up on Twitter is because I'm pumping out content. I wake up in the morning, I take Chuck for a walk. While I was taking Chuck for a walk today, I saw the Raiders were going to be working out running back Levante Bellamy, and he's played college football at Western Michigan, was a 2019 MAC Offensive Player of the Year, a UDFA for Denver in 2020, played for the Denver Broncos, though, the past 2 seasons. So when I tweeted this out, probably the top comment that came up was, Mitch, why another running back for the Raiders? And I was like, I get it, but this is why they did it. Because Tom McMahon, who's the Raiders special teams coach, he coached them in Denver the past 2 seasons. And when you look at the overall snap counts, he's made a bigger impact on special teams. Playing 88 snaps on special teams compared to having only 4 carries for 11 rushing yards, 1 catch for 5. But what the Raiders value right now, especially at RB, is depth. And they're looking for extra depth at the running back position. That way when you trot out certain players, right, in the preseason, you can rely on them. And I don't know how much you see of Josh Jacobs again. I don't know how much you see of Kenyon Drake since he got banged up. But what the preseason about is evaluating talent. And I believe the Raiders still want to be able to evaluate their offensive line. And they're going to heavily use running backs, which we saw against Jacksonville in the NFL Hall of Fame game. So think of Levante as being that extra depth at running back. But also he's got those special teams ties with Tom McMahon. And if he were to find out a way to make the practice squad, it's probably a little bit more from a special team standpoint. All right, y'all, let's get into the latest here around Brandon Parker. And I know there's been some conflicting reports out there, but I'm going to trust my team and my guys personally. He injured himself on Monday. Some people were like, all right, did it happen in the NFL Hall of Fame game? No. From what I've been told, Parker injured himself working out on Monday. I was told it was an arm injury and that he is done for the season. I know what somebody said on Twitter and saying it's not 100% true. Essentially what he's waiting for, and I'm not going to mention his name, is because you know when a player signs in free agency and then 2 or 3 days later it's this player is officially signed. It's like the officially official thing. That's what you're looking at here with Parker. They are going to move him to the IR. They're hoping that maybe they don't have to do it. But my understanding is that Brandon Parker is done for the season. He's injured his tricep muscle. He's not going to come back. And the fact that he's a free agent, he's still waiting to test all of his options. But from my understanding, Brandon Parker, done for the season. He's not on the IR yet, but it is going to happen. So I posted that on Instagram, posted it on Twitter, and I'm going to continue to stick to my story. There's a reason why no beat reporters are talking about it, because they don't know either, right? If they did know, they would talk about it. It's the way that the job works. So I knew something. That's why I always tell people, go on places like YouTube, because you're going to get better Raiders coverage on YouTube, which kind of blows my mind than the people that are actually in that building there. It's sad, but that's why Big J is kind of dead, right? All right, y'all, we got some more news and rumors to hit here on the Raiders Report, because in terms of some players that didn't practice today, I got 12 names to keep in mind. It's Brandon Parker, Alex Bars, those are your offensive linemen. At tight end, Darren Waller, Jacob Hollister, Nick Bowers. I know a lot of y'all are panicking on Darren Waller, but from my understanding, it's nothing to be too scared about. It's something basically they're just giving him some rest. Cleveland Ferrell, defensive end. Divine Diablo, Anthony Averett, Rocky Sin, those guys missed today. Crayvon LeBlanc, Ike Brown, and then to round it out, Tyree Gillespie. That rounds out the players that did not practice today for the Las Vegas Raiders. In terms of some guys who impressed, Lester Cotton. Lester Cotton continues to be that dude. And a month ago, I didn't know if he was going to start. I didn't know if he was going to make the 53-man roster. Lester Cotton has been playing so well that I think if it came down to it, hypothetically speaking, Raiders signed Daryl Williams, they kick him out to right tackle, I think Cotton might actually play over Leatherwood. That's how good Cotton looked, and he looked, again, very, very impressive today. The player dominating on defense, it was Max Crosby. So much so that he was pissing off the defense, and he kind of started the fight. And this definitely got overblown a little bit today. The fight, I guess, started with John Simpson and Crosby, and a lot of people are like, well, why are they fighting? They're fighting because everyone's competing for spots. The offense is going to battle against the defense. If you're competitive and you care, you know what, as long as literally no haymakers and nobody gets hurt, I'm okay with a little bit of pushing and shoving. It shows me that you care. Then Dylan Parham wanted to back up his guy John Simpson, and then essentially what happened was the entire team rallied behind, split up, nothing crazy happened. It was the first fight, though, with Josh McDaniels, and as far as I'm concerned, I like to see fire. I like to see people that care. That's what that was about to me. More news here around the Raiders and their defense. Nate Hobbs working on the outside today. So he was matched up against Davante Adams. He actually played pretty well against Adams from my understanding. He continues to look like a legit number one outside corner. He jumped a pass today against Derek Carr, picking him off when he was covering Adams. Hobbs is that guy. He can play the outside, and if he does play the outside, look for players like Anthony Averett and Amik Robertson to line up on the inside for the Silver and Black. All right, y'all, I'm getting ready to head out of here for news and rumors. Appreciate everyone who tuned in. If you made it this far in the show and you're not already subscribed, hit that sub button, because for the people who are subbing, I know y'all are the real ones, and if you made it this far, type RO4L for the real ones out there. All right, Raider Nation, we got one more mailbag to get into. We got 924 people watching. If you haven't liked the video yet, let's go ahead, smash that like button. Get those numbers up there. I see a lot of real ones out there, and I want to know where the real ones are watching from, so please shout out your city right now. Where are we repping from? I got Chad Florentine, San Jose from PG28. 6'9", what up, King Corona, Anaheim. Philip Vargas, Albuquerque. We got Bar 24, he's a real one for life. We got Keem Forum, appreciate you tuning in. Du Bois, Pennsylvania from Barr. It's a real place. I'm from Pennsylvania. Vilasa from Daniel Ramirez. Albuquerque from Philip. I do want to say major shout out to one of my old, most loyal watchers. And for anybody who's ever seen him on the show, he's been sub for a very, very long time. And his name was Ocean's World. I don't know if you've ever seen his name come up here, but somebody messaged me a few days ago and said Ocean World passed away. So RIP to Ocean World. He was always watching the live shows. He was always chiming in. So Ocean World, I miss you, bro. RIP to you. Let's go to some Super Chats here, and then we will get into today's mailbag, or do you want to start the show off with mailbags? I guess we're just going to do it now. Let's go, Raiders. Keep up the great work. Tom Davis.
Oh.
I always try to keep it up, man. I don't know what's going on out in the studios. People are running around. Some crazy stuff.
You cucked me.
I did? All right, go.
Raiders.
Oh, my God. I'm a mother cucker. I might never let you do that again. Great Jeremy's Raiders. I mean, that was the Madman Raider just said Chugs. Like, are you all right? No, that was real. That was some Beyonce type of shit. Let's go to Brandon Jasper. Locals. A lot of locals for your silver. No, stop. Join at RaidersReport.locals.com. RaidersReport.locals.com if you want extra exclusive Raiders content. Brandon Jasper, I appreciate you. All right, guys, let's get into today's mailbag. We got one more mailbag, then I'm going to end today's live show on YouTube. We're going to hop over to Rumble, and we're going to get into 3 free agents that the Raiders need to sign right now. So if you're interested in that, go over to Rumble because it is going to be exclusively over there. And if you want, remember, extra uncut raw content, rumble.com/Raiders Report for our after hours show over on Rumble. So we got 800 people watching. We're going to get into a mailbag, which is going to be me answering y'all's questions. So start using hashtag Raiders, or you can super chat to get those questions. Get those comments on the show. Appreciate everyone who's already sent in supers, like Brandon Jasper, Vincente. Shout out to today's MVP, which is Patrick B. Patrick B continues to dominate the Tuesday show game. Much love to you. Shout out to King Higgins, Coxie Pup, the greatness of the Raiders, Raider J, Raider Man. I see y'all. I appreciate you. Hashtag Raiders or Super Chat. Get those questions, comments on the show right now. Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report, and it is mailbag time. This is where I get to answer all y'all's questions. So if you watch our live shows on Tuesday, friendly reminder, we go live every single Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific. So all the questions you see on screen are going to be from that day. How do you make sure you never miss them? Subscribe and turn on your notifications. Let's go to the first question coming in here from Brandon Jasper. I like what I saw from Tyron in the Hall of Fame game. Is DeMarcus out the door? DeMarcus right now I actually think is battling for the wide receiver 5 spot with Tyron Johnson, because personally, I wasn't impressed by Tyron Johnson. He had some glowing moments where he played well on special teams. Yes, he had 2 catches for 39 yards, but the reason why the Raiders should keep Tyron Johnson is that speed, that downfield threat. Jarrett sent him through a freaking dime right in the lap of Johnson, and he dropped a 40-yard ball. Might have been a touchdown. If that's in a regular season game, that's obviously a much bigger deal. But the fact that he dropped that ball, that's the reason why he would stay with the team. I was not all that impressed from Tyron Johnson, but I also was not all that impressed by DeMarcus Robinson or Matt Collins for that matter. But it's preseason. Let's go to Raider 508. Donald Penn had us going 13-4, splitting the division, and the 4th loss to New England. We better beat New England. Man, we better beat New England. I definitely hope so. It's going to be an interesting game to monitor near the end of the season. I believe that game is what? Let me check my phone. I think it's week 15, I believe is when that game is. But you're right. This is a Raiders team, and I got you see my background? It's kind of hard to see because it's a green screen, but it's the Raiders schedule there. Yeah, week 15 against New England. We better come away with a win. Let's go to Matt. I thought it said pissing. So what is going on with Suh? Ndamukong is a veteran. I get that a lot of y'all want something to happen. I want something to happen because if the Raiders get Ndamukong Suh, I'm going to go live. I'm going to maybe even shave my face to a Fu Man Ndamukong Suh. I just know that the Raiders have a need at DT. I think that he's being a little bit patient right now. He has come out and said that the Raiders would be interesting. He's still messaging people on Twitter about the Raiders, so there's interest there, and I know the Raiders are still looking at defensive tackle. They just didn't get Danny Shelton. So what do you think about Ndamukong Suh, y'all? Should the Raiders sign him? Type S for sign, type P for pass. If you're wondering why am I asking you, it's what the Raiders Report's about. It's about that conversation. It's about sitting down at the dinner table talking as a family. It's about being at that bar while you're having a few drinks with your buddy, talking about Raiders topics. So that's what I want you to do in my comment section. S for sign, P for pass. Should the Raiders go out and get Ndamukong Suh? All right, this one's coming in from Hank Flesher. Will Malcolm Kuntz have a breakout year? Breakout year is a little bit of a strong word. I do think, though, he could be a sleeper. And what do I mean by that? To me, Kuntz played well. He looked like a good edge rusher in that Hall of Fame game. Got good bend, got good speed. He, to me, is built more like a outside linebacker in a 3-4 defense, more so than being a 4-3 defensive end. So when they went to Patrick Graham, when they went with that system, I got excited because I want to see Kuntz go. He also has some extra opportunity. If Cleveland Ferrell continues to show that he can't stay healthy or he's not that guy, then after Max, after Chandler Jones, next up in line is Malcolm Kuntz because of the injury to Kyler Fackrell. So breakout year, no. I do think he has a better year than he did last season. What I'm hoping for is if he can be somewhere around 25 tackles, if he can get the 4 sacks, get some extra QB pressures, then I think it's a pretty good second year there for Malcolm Kuntz. What up, Raider Man 01? Remember, y'all, in these mailbags to skip the line to make sure you get on the screen. Super chat. Mitch, did you ever get your Adams jersey? Just win, baby. You know what's kind of sad about this? No, I have yet to get it. I'm still waiting on my jersey for Davante Adams. I ordered a white one. We'll see if it ends up coming in the mail because I got my black Derek Carr jersey. So then I wanted the white Davante Adams one, which I could wear for the road games. But I'll tell you what, hopefully someday it'll come back in the mail. If you guys want to get a Davante Adams jersey, you can go to chatsports.com/Raiders jerseys, where we got not only Adams, we got a bunch of jerseys available. That link's available for you all in the comments and description of today's video. Let's go to Bullies. It's a no-brainer if Carr is important, then we need to protect him. O-line, major need to show up off our weapons. Yeah, you spent a lot of money on Hunter. You spent a lot of money on Derek Carr. You spent a lot of money on Davante Adams. If you can't block, it doesn't really matter. So the right side of the offensive line, it is a concern for me. And John Simpson is good in the running game. I don't think John Simpson's very good in the pass blocking game. So we'll see what ends up happening. And a lot of times I get it that coaches want to be optimistic, right? This is the time of the season where everyone's in the best shape of their life. This player looks incredible. Oh, this guy is going to have a breakout year. But really when it comes down to it, I mean, look at all the reports that were out there from Brandon Parker. Brandon Parker's footwork's quicker. He's going to be perfect in this Carmen Brasillo blocking scheme. And then what happened? He played. And then you saw what happened. It was not pretty whatsoever. Let's go to Super Chat coming in from Coxie Pup. Mitch, can you start breaking down game film during a show weekly? We need a real one. Just a thought. The issue with game film is people who share game film, a lot of times you can't. Well, I'm just going to be honest. You can't make money off of those shows, and when you can't make money off of shows, I got to pay for lights. I got to pay Jeremy so he can put food on his table. And also, people who put out game film, you can't do that always because the NFL owns it, and they can take down a YouTube channel. So for me, I get that people do that, but that's not worth the risk because I do this for a job, and this is how I put food on my table, a roof over my head. So I'm probably not going to do that for the simple fact of you can get your YouTube channel taken down. And sorry, it's not worth it to me, man. All right, y'all, remember, if you want extra testosterone in your life to make sure that you're working out a little bit better, improve that sex drive, and make you feel like you're 20 years old again, go to pandasups.com, use promo code TEST to get 25% off. The reason? You're trying to work out, you want to get rid of that extra belly fat. Testosterone boosters are a great way to do that, and Panda Supps just launched a brand new one. I've been using this product the last 3 days, and I'm going to be honest, man, I've been killing my workout sessions. So if you're looking for a natural way to build muscle, strength, improve sex drive, and increase energy levels Welcome the all-new Panda Test. Panda Test uses clinically dosed ingredients to naturally boost free testosterone levels and reduce stress hormones. So if you're interested, scan that QR code right there. It's going to take you right to Panda Sup's brand new test booster and use code TEST to save 25% off at pandasups.com. Super chat time from Jose Delgado. I late on the show. It's all right, man. Mitch, the McDaniel is going to protect DC on the offensive line with our DC this season. It's over. How many just win babies you give the Raiders to get the offensive right tackle we need? Is that what you're saying? I'm going to give it 2 just win babies. I think it's a coin flip at this current point. The Raiders need extra offensive line talent. What I don't know if it's going to be a guy like Daryl Williams. Is it going to be somebody like, I don't know, an extra depth player because you lost Brandon Parker for the season? Do I have confidence in Patrick Graham? Yes. That defense looked legit against the Jags. Again, it's against the Jags, against Jake Luton. But we also see reports from camp that they are locking up a lot of these receivers, that the defense plays well, and they continue to play well. Like Crosby's dominated against the offensive line. Patrick Graham is that guy. So we'll see what ends up happening, though. Speaking of the offensive line, Gallons over Miles. Should the Raiders try to sign Dwayne Brown? Unfortunately, two reasons why I'm going to say no to this one. One, Dwayne Brown's a left tackle. He's not going to play right tackle. Second reason, maybe he plays right tackle. You're going to pay him a lot of money. Second reason is I think he goes to the Jets. So he had a visit with the Jets on Monday, and there's already some mutual interest. If you watched our live show from Chat Sports on Monday as well, I broke down some free agency destinations. I predicted Dwayne Brown to go to the Jets. So I think he ends up signing with New York, and the Raiders will need him to play right tackle, and he's a left tackle. So what do you think about this, y'all? Name a player, one player, that you think right now, you're Josh McDaniels or Dave Ziegler, you get on your phone, you got that old-fashioned phone, you know what I mean? I don't even know how it works, but it's like, who you calling? Who are you going to try to get into the silver and black to rep that shield for the Raiders week 1? I'll be looking in the comments. Let's go to B-Ray. What up, my dog? Mitch, do you think is taking things a little personally? I want as many reporters reporting on my Raiders not winning. It's not official yet. And that's what Big J does, man. I'm not going to get into it too much with him. I'm trying to get past it, but I will say this. If you go to any Raiders beat reporter's Twitter right now, their job is to cover the team. Some people don't even tweet a whole day. How do you go a whole day without tweeting? How do you go 2 days, 3 days without keeping you guys up to date? How many people talked about the Raiders working out Danny Shelton? How many people talked about the Raiders working out the running back that they did on Tuesday? You know, I got a commitment. I know a lot of other people do too, so that's my thoughts on it. What up, Abraham? Where's Waller's contract at? Will we wait till we get an offensive tackle and defensive tackle? They're being ultra patient on this, right? And I don't know if Waller's missing practices because of this. Remember, this was recorded on Tuesday, so keep that in mind if anything does change. I'm going to sit up here and say if the Raiders were smart, they would extend Darren Waller or give him a pay raise, so I'm hoping it happens before the season. And I'm hoping. What up, Jeff? How much cap space do we have left? At this current juncture, the Raiders, I believe, have $22.5 or $22.6 million in salary cap space, and that is per over the cap. They are behind only the Cleveland Browns, who have over $49 million, so there's a big gap. But the Raiders do have the second most, as I am currently recording this video right now. What up, Julius? You're next up here on the Raiders Report. Who has more catches this season, Waller or Renfro? Well, I do think that Adams leads the team with catches this upcoming season. And then in terms of if I was a betting man, I'm going to put probably money on Renfro because of the way that the offense is going to run through McDaniels. I think it's going to be really close. Like, I know there's a lot of people out there that think Devonta Adams is a locked and loaded to have over 100 catches. I'm going to put him probably at somewhere around 100, 105 grabs. After that, though, to me, Waller and Renfro could both be around 75. And if you have 3 players with over 75 catches, that's really, really impressive. It does not happen often, especially when you're also going to run the football the way that the Raiders are. I'm going to put my money on Renfroe, but it also would not surprise me if it's Waller at all. All right, y'all, if you haven't already, remember, Instagram, Twitter, you can always fill up my DMs. You know what I'm talking about over there. Also, to make sure you stay up to date, news, rumors going on around the Raiders. Like, even if on my off days, I'm posting stuff over there because my job, the reason why it's 365 is because I take a lot of pride in keeping you guys up to date in 365 days out of the year. Let's go to Michael Correa. Mitch, what do you think about the Broncos now being owned by Starbucks, Walmart, and Condoleezza? You know, I would say that you should ask Matthew Peterson. He runs our Broncos channel, and there's some people over there that would probably say, let's ride to this, but I don't really care, man. If they're going to be able to spend some money, let them spend some money. They have some extra things to throw it around. Raiders have also been doing the right things as well, right? The Raiders, since they've moved to Las Vegas, they have gone up 209% in terms of overall value. I think Jeremy wants to chime in here, and I think I know why. What up, Shane? FKC, F the Donkeys, FAB, FLAC.
Raiders!
Chuck just had a heart attack. Just win, baby. 13-4 this season. How do we feel about the preseason? I feel like it's pretty important. I think it's important to see what players can potentially make a roster. And I think the greatest example of this was last season, I went to Topgolf with Nick Kwiatkowski. I got to sit down with him, old Raiders linebacker, and he told me what preseason meant to him. And for a lot of these UDFAs, this is your shot to try to make a roster. This is your shot to try to live a dream. So for players like Darian Butler, for somebody like a Bryce Cosby, for somebody like a Sam Webb, which from what I understand, those three UDFAs have been playing pretty well, this is your chance to make a team. So I get it. A lot of y'all don't really care about the preseason, but I do think that really good NFL teams are solid 53 players. You have that extra depth in case somebody goes down, and preseason go a very, very long way. So, Shane, I appreciate you. I also appreciate the people that take a lot of pride in trying to be one of the very, very first people that comment on a Raiders Report video. I like to call y'all my Noti gang, so shout out to Raiders for Life, Jaime Alvarado Sr., Diego Torres, Stephen Williams, Justin Evans. Much love to all of y'all. If you want to see your name, picture featured on a future Raiders Report video, turn those notifications on by clicking on that bell. Click all. And then when I drop a video, get in the comment section as quick as possible. Just get in there. Blow it up. What up, Shane? Hey, Mitch, which player do you think that was on your loser list will have a big game next preseason? Please beat New England. So in terms of who are some of my losers, I believe I had Brandon Parker. He's out. Oh, boy. Patrick B., he wants a shot. We got Jarrett Stidham. He was a winner. No, it was Nick Mullins. The defensive tackles, I mean, I'll say defensive tackles I'm hoping play a little bit better, but I'm also hoping that there's some extra guys out there. We'll see. I'll say out of all the losers, I'm going to hope that defensive tackle is a bigger one. Patrick B.
Oh!
From the top row.
Patrick B.
Today's MV, Patrick. MVP stands for Patrick B. Let's have some fun, Mitch. I love being an underdog going into the season. Carr needs to just ball out and have an MVP season with the AFC Championship game at the least. I'm ready for this season. I did say on Twitter yesterday, I believe, that I think right now the best parlay in sports betting is Derek Carr for MVP and the Raiders to win the AFC West. If you were to do that, like let's say you risk $10, you win almost $1,000, I believe is what it is right now. And the reason why I think it's one of the best bang for your bucks is because if Derek Carr wins the MVP, the Raiders win the AFC West because of all that competition in there. Obviously, it's not likely to happen. It could happen. Carr was an MVP frontrunner last year, but I do think it's a very interesting parlay that I know that I would make right now if I was all y'all out there. So Patrick B., everyone raise a glass to Patrick B. Type PB down in the comments. Cheers to you, my guy. Last question here. Any news on Deron Harmon? He looks good. He's playing really well. He had an interception today. I believe Sam Webb in coverage tipped the ball up to him. Harmon came down with the interception. I will say, though, I've talked to a few people. They've told me Jonathan Abram has played a lot better. So he's going to be a dude that I keep in mind because early on in minicamp, OTAs, training camp, it was Duron Harmon this, Duron Harmon that. He's out playing Abram. Sounds like Abram over the past few days of practice has started to impress a little bit more. I'm hoping that he fills this like Jabril Peppers box safety role, which is what Patrick Graham utilized last season with the Giants. Harmon looks good, and he's going to play well, but Jonathan Abram is also starting to play well, which definitely makes me pretty happy. All right, y'all, if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, make sure you do so because we are going to get ready to end this live show. Remember, though, every single Tuesday we do Raiders Report live, so hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications. All right, guys, we're getting ready to end the live show here on YouTube, and we are going to hop on over to Rumble. So name a player that the Raiders should try to sign. I would appreciate it if you did so. And what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be breaking down 3 players, 3 free agents that the Raiders need to sign ASAP right now. You need to make the move happen. Let's get it going. That way I don't continue to stress about it. So let me know, y'all. Name a player, and I'm going to give some shout-outs here. Then we're going to end the show here on YouTube, and we're going to hop over to Rumble. Actually, you know what? No. We're going to end the live show here in 5 seconds on YouTube, and I'm going to give shout-outs to people over on Rumble. Jeremy, you ready? 5, 4, 3, 2,